What's up, guys? It's Bax. I wasn't really planning on making this video. I've just been seeing a lot of this online, and I wanted to kind of give my 2 cents on it. So, something I've been seeing, and everyone's been seeing, is all of these Apex streamers getting swatted. Now, swatting isn't anything new. Um, it's been happening for a long time, and I think in one case, a guy died from, I mean, obvious reasons, right? So, I wanted to talk about this, and please, I do not want this to be some political thing. I really don't want to talk about politics with this. I want to focus primarily on the swatting within the Twitch community and within streaming in general, not just Twitch, right? So, swatting, in essence, minus the politics right now around the police, especially in America, that's not what I want to talk about. Swatting is legitimately just at the core of what it is. You are sending a bunch of armed men to someone's house under the guise of there being a very serious threat. So, as I said, removing the police aspect from it. If you had a gun and someone came to your house and was like, "Hey, your neighbor is like killing your neighbor next door," and you're someone who's like, you don't just sit around and do nothing about that. You're gonna be like, okay, you're good Samaritan. Let's just say that this might be a bad example, but and you get that gun and someone told you like, hey, and you hear someone yelling, because a lot of times streamers are yelling and hype. I mean, imagine if the police, if like a SWAT team raided my house when I was in the middle of a game. They would think I was killing somebody. So, and you run over there someone literally told you that that's what's happening. You would go in with that. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even have to be within that situation. Actually, now that I think of it, if you literally are just walking somewhere and someone's like, hey, there's somebody killing somebody over there, you might be hesitant to walk over to whatever area they're talking about, right? So, in essence, with swatting, the whole point of it is to send a group of armed individuals to raid another person's home, right? And these people could be in multiple different situations. I mean, you could be. I've seen somewhere they talked about they were sleeping. Some of them are streaming, and it can get you killed. Obviously, right? These men are rolling up in the house with like assault rifles, essentially. So the thing I'm wondering, because a lot of times when I've seen what happens when the people get caught, and it varies, I guess, especially depending on the country that you're in. But the way I see this is to combat this. You can't really ever stop assholes from existing on the internet, but the laws will have to change, especially the more prevalent streaming and internet personalities start to rise more and more over the years. We're still in the beginning. We're in the infancy of the internet and how all that stuff works. So as things become even more normal than they already are, we're gonna need more protection, especially for people streaming. I'm an extremely small streamer, but I've thought about this. I told my mom and grandma a long time ago. I was like, look, if a SWAT team just appears at our house, this is why it could possibly happen, and listen to everything they say. That's it. Just listen to them. Get out. It's not worth us getting killed over. But when you send a group of armed individuals, at the very least, you're wanting the person to get hurt. You can say it's a prank, but in reality, you want the person to get like slammed on the ground, to have their, get handcuffed, or at least scared. In general, they're going to be scared, and mental torment is in some ways just as bad as physical torment in a lot of ways. So I personally think that the reform of these laws that needs to happen is that this needs to become like the charges need to be attempted murder, because that would disincentivize people from doing it as, oh, this is just a joke. Like, no, it's not just a joke. It's basically attempted murder. You are trying to get somebody killed, and if you do this, and you should face the prison time that's comparable to attempted murder, because that's essentially what you're doing. And then if the person is killed, you go to jail for the time of murder. Like, I don't know the laws, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm some lawyer, but there needs to be something said about this in an actual serious way, other than just internet online justice, which in a lot of ways is not real. There needs to be real law, and things need to be done to, like, steps need to be taken to if anything, limit how much this happens. And when it does happen, the people who did it need to be severely punished, not just a slap on the wrist. I mean, 5 years in prison, that's not a good time, right? That's a lot of time out of your life taken away. But that is not nearly as severe as an attempted murder charge or a murder charge. And in reality, that's what needs to be done, in my opinion. because it's not a game at some point. You know, we're legitimately seeing people who could potentially be killed. And these are people that we all either, you know, a lot of us like or look up to. Even if you don't, man, if you don't like a dude because of how he plays on Apex, or a girl because of how she plays on Apex, you shouldn't wish death upon them from like a firing squad. You know, these are just unhinged individuals. They're not normal good people doing this, and they deserve to be fucking punished for it, in my opinion. And you know, I don't. Again, as I said, I don't want this to be a political thing, but I want to know your guys' opinions on what you guys think of this, because I've had a couple people ask me about it on stream, and I mean, I think it's pathetic. Obviously, it's abhorrent that these people are even doing this, and that the fact that it's so easy to get away with. You know, I mean, that yeah, there's steps to take, and there's steps that, you know, even myself I will take and I have taken, and everyone should do that. But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do against the wrath of someone who has nothing but time and hate on their hands. So I think that these things need to get addressed. I'm not really entirely sure how in a lot of ways, but it does need to happen for the safety of, you know, people streaming on the internet, because it's so common now. And it, you know, it's just a matter of time before we see a swatting go bad and someone gets shot on stream and killed. And 99% of people would fucking hate to see that. I feel like that would scar a lot of people. You know, I've spent a lot of time on the internet. I've seen plenty of videos of people getting shot. It's not enjoyable. It's a hollow, deep pit feeling you get in your stomach when you see things like this. And eventually that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a streamer get his head blown off on camera in front of everybody. And it's not going to be so funny anymore. And whoever does this shit needs to get punished as if they are, you know, for attempted murder, because that's what it is. So I want to know your guys' opinion. I want to see in the comments what you guys have to say. I'm interested in hearing what you guys think, but I think that this needs to be seen as a much more serious issue, because it's kind of pathetic how many times this has been happening lately, and clearly the individual doing this needs to be held to some accountability, because this is just fucking ridiculous. And steps need to be taken to ensure safety of people. And it's something I talked about on stream too. You know, I can't just call my sheriff's office and be like, hey guys, if any call is made saying I'm doing some heinous act, don't react to it. Because then you have that trouble of like, well, what if you are doing something? What if you use this now? What if a streamer is just like, oh, hey, I'm a streamer, so like, don't come to my house, and then they kill their family. And then it's like, that's just as bad, obviously, right? But that's the thing that the law and the people have to take into consideration. You can't just say, I'm a streamer, I'm above the law now. That's not how that works. So discussion needs to be had around this, and there needs to be steps taken to stop these things from happening. I'm just not really sure what they are, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. I'm really curious. But other than that, man, it's Bax. I'll see you guys later. You have a good one.